welcome to the show.
Hold on. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this evening podcast. Today is April the 26th, and we have Renee here as our guest speaker. And I welcome everybody, as usual, to this podcast. So, this podcast is made possible by the World Affordability Podcast in collaboration with Transform You Network and PAC. And before we start, I would like to read. Renee has a very lengthy um, bio, and she has a lot. She's a woman of a lot of accomplishments, and I'm just gonna read a little bit about her bio, and then for you guys, she's gonna put her info also. So if anyone is, like moved, and I know you're gonna be by the end of this program, you see what I mean. So I'm gonna read her bio, and then we'll take it from there. So Renee has cultivated and inspired individuals and teams for over a decade. You immediately feel her energy when she enters a room. After over 25 years working in corporate America, Renee decided it was time to hang up the corporate ladder, like few people have done. Decided it was time. Yeah, she started her professional training and speaking as an instructor at WHW, Women Helping Women, a nonprofit organization where she donated her time helping the unemployed and underemployed find and keep their jobs. Renee has received numerous awards over the years of bringing her teams to the number one position. Both her years of experience in the corporate world have taught her that in order to move the burr and increase profit, you must first invest in people. Isn't that the truth? After suffering a devastating illness that took away her voice, then a few years later, the loss of her best friend and then father, I'm sorry about that, Renee decided to follow their example to never give up. Now, that legacy is how Renee has chosen to live her life and help others, showing them that just when they feel like it's closing in on them, there's always a way out. Today, Renee is a four times first best-selling author, speaker, and a transformational mindset mentor and creator of the Voice Blueprint. She works with women who are struggling with limiting beliefs to gain more clarity, confidence, and courage so they can go from surviving to thriving. Isn't that what all of us want to do? From surviving to thriving. So I welcome Renee, my friend. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Zita, for having me here today. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you and your audience and to share a story that may be my own, but yet I think it's relatable to so many others. So in 2013, that illness that you spoke of in my bio was really a path to what my purpose here really is about. While I was in corporate America in 2013, I had an illness that took away my ability to speak. I wasn't able to eat or drink. I was locked away in my four walls and in my own body. And I was told I was so contagious, I was unable to be with the public. From that time, I fell into a very deep depression, as I think many would when you're isolated and you can't eat or drink or swallow or communicate. I was just, I didn't know what was happening. And when doctors had no answer for me, they also had no cure for me. one thing I realized, it wasn't until years later, that when you're brought to something so devastating and through something, that there's a reason far greater than you and far greater than you ever realized. And that reason and that purpose is to serve others, especially women. I come from a corporate background, and I know that the physical loss of my voice, I truly believe, manifested from the metaphoric loss of my voice in life. Being a people pleaser, never feeling I was ever enough or could ever be enough. Fear of judgment, limiting beliefs, low self-esteem, low self-worth. And when you think about it, how many others, you see on the outside what people want you to see, but inside, what's going on? And we don't often speak about it because it's that inner voice that tells you that you're not good enough, the inner fear, the inner feeling. And it could have been a parent, a teacher, a guardian, somewhere along your life that someone said something to you or did something to you that you held on as your truth. And it's your belief. If you think of the word believe, it's BELIE. It's a lie. It's a belief system that you made a story unto your own. And it's not true. The story I told myself was all of those things of not being good enough. No matter what I did, no matter how well I did or what award I got, I felt like it was never enough and that I wasn't even deserving of it. So with that whole illness came my purpose to step into my own power and to serve others, especially women, to release the limiting beliefs, those lies that limit us, the limitations in our own life. And in 2018, I wrote a book. In 2020, I launched the book. It didn't take me 2 years to write it. It took me 2 years to get my butt in the chair to complete it, because I didn't even think that I was like, who am I to write this book? I even wrote that in the book. Who am I to write a book? And who would even listen? But this book has become a 4 times #1 best-selling book in and out of the United States. And for that, I am truly grateful. It's called Finding Your Voice, Unlock Your Chains, and Unleash Your Greatness. In it, it's like a Chicken Soup for the Soul book, in as much that each chapter is a different story. And it's different things that took place in my own life. And then at the end of each chapter, I have takeaway sections. They're really short chapters. It's 83-page book, 11 chapters. You do the math, and they're very short chapters. And I purposely did that because I wanted something that people could really feel into and not say it was a thick book. I didn't want to read it. It's a really empowering book. And as I said, after each chapter, I have like 3 to 4 lined pages with questions to take you through the journey of finding your voice. Because we never give ourselves enough credit, especially as women, for where we are and how far we've come. In the pages of this book, I believe in the power of the pen. What comes up will come out. You pick that book up in a week, a month, 5 months, a year, and you can journey and journal along your way. So this is really empowering for women, and it's not just for women. If there's men out there listening, they say, what about me? Yes, men are absolutely benefiting from this book as well. I spoke to a group in Nigeria of educators. I spoke about the voice of education, and to be not just the teacher, but the student of your students, and to understand why maybe if they're silent, why are they silent? Why are they not participating? What is going on at home? Because there are things that happened in our childhood that were never addressed. And just because we're an adult doesn't mean we figured it all out and that we know all the answers. It means we're still carrying that stuff with us. And it's time to release and unlock those chains and unleash your own greatness from within.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome, Renee. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I really appreciate that, those comments. And I know, like you said, that in our world today, it's not that we're emphasizing only in women, but we know women are mostly impacted when it comes to, excuse me, expressing yourself, just being who you are. Women do not get that full support. They are not even permitted in some cultures to stand on their 2 feet, and be responsible for themselves. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Unfortunately, there's that operation, there's that subtle, operation that people are making to really put the message across, letting women know that, you know what, I don't think you're really fully a full person. And that can really be aggravating when you recognize that. And for some people who can really verbalize it, you know what, they have been classified as bold. And for those who cannot, out of fear or out of any other, oppression, or saying, oh my goodness, who am I? They will internalize it. You know what, how that manifests? Some of those manifestations, Renee will tell us how it manifests. Women start having all kinds of physical issues, spiritual issues, unnecessary headaches, stress related illnesses, like even ulcer and stuff like that, high blood pressure unnecessarily going high. You're not even able to sleep. You're not able to eat, or even you eat too much without knowing why. So all those symptoms begin to manifest in our lives. And we kind of wonder what is going on. Yes, what is going on is that you're not finding your voice in the society. You're not even finding your voice in your family. You're not even finding your voice in the world. So all of that put together really trample on women. And we don't want that to happen anymore. That is why we have the World of Women podcast. And it is educational, and we invite people to come talk to us, educate women, accompany women. We want to hold one another hand in hand and really support one another. So now, Renee, if somebody's coming to you and say, oh my goodness, Renee, you really went through this? How do you think that I can, in my own life, be up to where you are? What will you tell them?
Zita, thank you so much. And this is why I created the Voice Blueprint. This is what takes women from vulnerability to empowerment. We didn't lose our voice, so to speak, overnight. Our all these insecurities that we have, these feelings of not being enough, these limiting beliefs, didn't happen overnight. That's why some people don't even scale in their business, because they're afraid to put themselves out there. So what I do is I walk them through that journey of finding their own voice in business and in life. And it really gives them that platform to step into their own power and to release those beliefs that are holding them back, and to step into that greatness that has always been there. I think about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, that movie that I loved as a little girl, and I never understood why. But if you think of it, and you can Google it, if those that are watching that don't know what that story is, but Dorothy goes to the land of Oz to try to find her way back home to Kansas. And along the way, she meets these characters. The Scarecrow looking for a brain, and he's the smartest one. The Tin Man looking for a heart. He's got the biggest heart there. The Cowardly Lion looking for courage, and he's got the most courage of all, standing in front of the Wicked Witch of the West to really protect Dorothy and everybody, all the other characters. All of these characters, and Dorothy looking for her way back home with those ruby slippers. All of these were metaphors for what was really within each of them the whole time. Dorothy didn't have to click those ruby slippers. She didn't even need them. She knew the way. The courage that the Cowardly Lion was looking for him to jump in front of the Wicked Witch that was there to harm everybody. He had the courage within. The Scarecrow looking for the brain. He was so smart. He was able to help everybody there. And the Tin Man looking for the heart, like I said, he had the biggest heart of all. So the message of this is each and every one of you have within you what it takes. What I do as a mentor is work on the mindset piece to help you realize it and to give you the tools that I supply you with in walking yourself back home to who you really are.
Awesome. Awesome. And with one word that speaks volume to me is mindset. Mindset says it all. And what is actually keeping a lot of women down today, even among the most educated group of women, is our mindset. And mindset is something that, like Renee said, just like we did not get our voices taken away from us just overnight, mindset was not set up overnight. Mindset is something that we create even from 3 years old. We have been taught of stuff, the stuff are being done to us, and we're internalizing it, getting brainwashed by society telling you, yes, you're a woman. What do you think you're going to be? What do you think you can achieve in life? You're only a woman. And we internalize all of that all those years. It goes through primary education to secondary education to workplaces to everywhere we go. You're hearing the same song. You know what happens? At some point in your life, you're going to take it one way or the other. You might not intentionally take it, but in your subconscious, you already know that. And so Renee was saying that, you know how some people cannot really, no matter how they try in their businesses, they're not thriving. Is that mindset? She was right on. And the only way we can begin to be who we are, evolve to what we're created to be, is through going through what Renee calls that whole journey. And no one does it by themselves. You need support like the kind that Renee provides. You need to get in touch with her right away. Renee has a lot, speaking from her own life experience. Nothing really works like life experience. You know what I mean? People will talk from experience and they have walked the walk.
Zita, I'm gonna interject there if I may. I went to school, I went to college, I got a Bachelor of Arts in Sciences in Psychology. There's not one class and one paper, one exam that ever prepared me for what I went through. No degree. No, I mean, I have the degree, I have the work. None of that prepared me for that journey that I embarked upon. That I didn't even want to survive it at the time because it was so painful.
Mm-hmm.
And when God, source, energy, universe, whatever you believe, there is a higher power. I strongly believe that. And as I said earlier, when you were brought to something and through something that is so painful and pain filled, there is a greater purpose. And I'm grateful that I am now a vessel with a voice to be able to serve and support others, especially women, in finding theirs along their journey. And this book has been such a blessing in that journey, and it served and supported so many. I encourage you, I invite you to pick it up. It's on Amazon. My link tree is posted there. I don't know if they get to see it in the chat. On it is the first thing on the link tree is a 30-minute complimentary mentoring with me. I gift you that time. I also have a complimentary ebook, 10 Steps to Finding Your Voice, is on there. I have the book itself from Amazon. You click on the book, it says Finding Your Voice. It's right there for you. And just to connect with me, because I know there's a reason I'm here today. I don't believe in coincidences. And so many women, the educated women who have been through so much in their journey in corporate America, in their relationships, in life, that they need to really step into their own power because they've been suppressed and their emotions have been suppressed. I spoke of repressed emotions and suppressed emotions. I go live in my own group. I've got my Facebook group there too. And that's a big part of it as well. They're holding you back. I hear feedback there, Zita. I hear it echoing. I hear feedback there. This feedback. I go live in my own group. I've got my Facebook group there too. Do you hear the feedback, Zita? I hear feedback there.
So sorry, Renee. I'm gonna see if I can get her to move stuff away from the computer again.
Yes, something must have been moved towards the computer and it was giving feedback.
I didn't touch anything.
Okay. I think we're good now.
Okay.
Thank you, Denise.
Good.
Yeah, so those are things that I offer, and I'm grateful to be here. So please click on the link tree, schedule an appointment with me. Happy to serve
Yeah.
and happy to
And when you
support.
say you are a vessel, like you rightly put it, and some of our experiences in life, when we go through them, honestly, they are no fun. I have not seen any one person, be it man or woman, that have gone through life and life has handed you stuff that are really unpleasant, and you went through it and you were really singing through it. No, people will really, we're all human. We all feel it. We feel the pain. We feel the suffering. But the good thing about the whole thing is the support we receive from one another, the support we receive from people like Renee, trying to help you, trying to support you, trying to let you know that you are not alone, that other people have passed through this whole journey, but they made it. They still make it. And now that Renee is out here, she went through her experience. And I'm sure when she was going through the experience, she thought it was only going to be for her, for herself. But look at what God is using her to do today, is to show the rest of us that whatever it is you're going through life now, please take it as something that is going to, when it's really well taken and you walked on it, to know that you're going to be used as a vessel. Like Renee is being used as a vessel today, especially for empowering women, because we know that if we're able to live up to our own life expectation, that we will really accomplish a lot. We will live a happy, thriving life. But when somebody is not able to work on themselves, not able to even overcome what it is life is handing to people, which it does that at some point in our lives, and know that help is near. Whenever you feel like that, please know that help is near. And it is true that no degree that anyone acquires will ever teach you how to live life. Doing life is completely different. It's sometimes my clients will tell me, oh, nobody told me that my baby will turn out to be this way. Nobody told me. And I'm like, you know what, my dear, I'm sorry. Parenting is not something that is taught. People might tell you, yeah, you're going to wake up at night, baby's going to need to be fed, change, and all that. Yes, those are basic stuff. But I'm telling you, each child is different. And you must go through life in that manner. Know that every situation is different, but you also will still walk the same walk, but come out with victory, because that is what is important. And know that every one of us is going to be used as a vessel if we accept it. Renee accepted it, and this is where she is today, blessing the world with all her gifts. Now, Renee, you did work for the world of the empowering women in that group, and you were supporting the unemployed and those who had were underemployed. What were the things that you did with women that you would like to also share, so other women will get a bit of experience and insight?
Yes, I worked with Women Helping Women. It's a nonprofit organization. I was a speaker there. I taught classes every week. And it's like I'm doing now in my own journey. And this is the extension of my journey. It started as a speaker. I started as a speaker there, teaching weekly classes to women. And it was really an incredible experience. It was with the underemployed and unemployed to help them, find out really who they were. And I now, as I said earlier, created a voice blueprint. And that is really an integral part of the journey in finding your voice. People didn't have to lose their voice like I did in the painful way with an illness that took over my body. but it's how we lose our voices in our own life and not speaking up or standing up for ourselves and being the people pleaser and not feeling enough, but not speaking up either and standing up for what we believe. If somebody has wronged us and saying something about it and standing up for yourself and having that backbone that we're afraid to use because we're afraid that somebody's not going to like what we said and it means they don't like us. That's not what love is about. That's not what liking someone is about. And that's not what support is about. It's about first believing in yourself and believing that you are good enough. Oh, you have that book. There it is.
Remember, you endorsed a copy of this book. I just wanted to show people. And also, I know you've showed it, but Renee, this book, this little book really taught me a lot. Especially the page where you shared about a situation where you were walking up to get something. You really walked briskly. And by the time you got there, something made you to wait. You were kind of being respectful of the person who was speaking or something, and then someone else came and grabbed it. And you really felt so bad. Can you really, you know how it came to my mind? Because you just said, if people are not standing up for themselves, you don't have to blame anybody but yourself, honestly.
That was, yes, that was a chapter about in something that took place when I went to a speakers event, and Jack Canfield was one of the speakers, and he had his book on stage that he was going to give out to people. And it was the success principles, and I wanted to get, and I knew how those things worked when you go to events. This is pre-COVID, everybody. So this is way before COVID. I was attending this event, and he was one of the guest speakers, and I ran up to get it. But instead of taking it out of his hands, because I wanted to be respectful, and he was on stage, and I was, on the ground level, and he was up a bit. I wanted to wait until he, was finished speaking, but I wanted to be up there. And somebody came from behind me that was taller than me and grabbed it. And I was so like, oh my gosh, like how could that happen? And I did write about that. And what took place is that person wasn't being rude, although I thought at the time they were. She spoke to me later and said, I wanted to show you that, that to show that confidence, to speak up, to get what you had for yourself. And when Jack actually went on the microphone, he goes, what did you learn? I said, to go after what I want. I said, I wanted to be respectful of you during your presentation. I didn't want to just just grab it out of your hands while you're speaking. And that was what I've always been respectful of other people, especially if someone's on stage and he's, I would never just go and do that. And so it was a lesson. I write about that. Yes, the book, there are some parts you'll laugh, like I'm sure you did when you were reading that part of it, and say, oh my God, that's so funny that I can't believe she actually shared that with everybody. And I do. I'm just vulnerable out there because that's what I teach and that's how I live my life. And also there are parts where you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. I can't believe she actually felt that way about herself. But again, I'm vulnerable because if I am going to teach it and walk others through it, I have to be out there for them to see that too. And how I was able to get through and overcome it and why I created the voice blueprint. As I said, it doesn't mean that you've lost it like physically, but where in your life are things taking place where you could be, have that courage and confidence, where you can speak up more and be more proactive, and maybe why things aren't scaling in your life and why you're holding your own voice back and not speaking up, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in your job or where in your life are you holding your own voice back and being silent? The word listen and silent have the same letters. Sometimes it's important to be silent and listen. But it's also important to hear your own voice in the sense of what the lessons are and to learn and to be empowered, which is everything I teach. So I'm really looking forward to having people reach out to me. It's on my link tree. The first link is the meet and greet. And as I said, I gift that for you for 30 minutes. The book is on there as well. I invite you to get the actual book. There is the Kindle version as well. However, I'm going to recommend strongly that you get the book because that's where you can actually write your answers, as I said earlier, to the questions I pose within 3 to 4 pages of the lines that you can write on.
Jenny,
for that to become an evergreen tool.
We are going to supply you with a StreamYard link.
Great. They'll have that to come on. And
Go ahead. We are going to give me a moment, Kenny, with a.
oh, we hear.
We'll get you into the show with a couple of links.
Okay.
Go ahead. Just give me a moment, Kenny. I'm getting it into
Hey,
this.
Kurt, we can hear you.
Get you into the show with a couple of links.
I don't think he heard you, Denise.
I'm getting it into this meeting.
Is he talking to us or is he talking to someone else?
I don't
I'm
know.
not entirely sure, Zita. I'm sorry.
I think he's talking to someone else on Zoom, but I think it's done now. So,
okay. So Renee, if someone can tell him that we're hearing him because we want to hear Renee speak to us at this time. So Renee, what you were actually talking about is really it rings home to me.
I just got it over.
Let's make sure that we get Kurt, that he's aware that we can hear him.
Don't have the links of the correct device.
Kurt, we can hear you. If you can, I don't know, maybe he can't hear us. Denise, can you let him know that?
The correct.
I'm going to pop off of here and go into there.
You let him know that we can hear him.
Pasting it for you.
That's what happens when you multitask.
Yes, this is what happens when you're live also.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes it. So if
I don't think so either.
Denise can let him know that. That would be great.
And if it's easy for you to share the...
I don't know that he's aware of
I
that.
gave you the alternate link for troubleshooting purpose.
Yeah.
That label
He's not aware.
now. But the StreamYard, it's easy for you to share Zita. And you know what? I gave you the alternate link for troubleshooting. And the others are.
I don't think he's aware of that.
Now,
No.
but the StreamYard.
I think we'll and wait, so it's easier for people to hear. They can't hear two people at once.
Denise and the others are. They're on the StreamYard, Kenny. So if you can click on that StreamYard and go into the show that way, you'd be up and running.
Okay, I think we're good. I think
all right. So yeah, Renee was just saying that whatever what you just shared brings home to me. Because growing up, I was really, in fact, my middle name, which was the name given to me at birth. In my culture, a child is born and whatever name is given depends on the circumstances around your birth or how your family is in any way. So, and so you give that name to the child. So for the rest of their life, they know and they remember what was going on in their life, in their family's life, family members' life when they were born. So my name was, the name that was given to me at birth was Obiagiri. And what that name means is the one that has come to enjoy. So, growing up, I had that whole mentality, that's what I've come to this world to do. Is gonna really enjoying life and doing what I needed to do and what I want to do. And that whole mentality got stuck in my head. And it was something positive. And it really made me feel when I'm walking gracefully, I'm walking happily, and the skies was my limit. Until I started communicating with other people in school, like in the primary school. And then when we were growing, the more you grow, the more you understand what life is all about. And I started getting some negative reactions about this name. First of all, I wasn't the one that gave it to me. It was my parents that gave me the name. So for people, some people, they see it as, oh my goodness, she has only come to enjoy. So others have come to work, right? And you have come to enjoy. So anyway, that I have always had that positive outlook in life. But one thing I just want to share here is that even some women, fellow women, will make you feel like you're trash sometimes, your fellow women. So just be aware that we're not even only talking about people putting us down, maybe the opposite sex or something, or society. but fellow women do that to other women. And I just want women to know that how we know women as women who we are nurturers. I want to speak to those who are still continuing that work of nurturing one another, to keep going, keep doing that. People like Renee here, like Denise, like Emily, like Sarah, all these women that I have known at a deeper level that are all but nurturers. And I also know few women who are still working on it. One thing I wanted all of us to know is that women are nurturers. We must help one another get uplifted, because that's the only way we're going to get uplifted ourselves. What Renee is doing in this whole book and speaking engagements, and what she's teaching other women through empowering women, is nothing but uplifting others. And the more she uplifts others, more she gets uplifted herself.
It's so true. So true. I always say I believe in giving a hand up, not a hand out.
Right.
And what we grow through, we go through, we also grow through, because this is something that we can impart upon others. The three words I always have is inspire, impact, and empower. And the more I can do that for women around this world, the better we will all be. And I am so grateful to have a voice now, to be able to speak to organizations and to do my mentoring and coaching to women and to the organizations as well, to companies. Back again. Wow, lots of feedback today. So I like to speak to organizations. Something's going on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, hopefully that came through, and just reach out and we'll connect.
Sure, you have your information there, please.
I have my
the
link tree. The link tree is there.
Please visit the link tree and connect with Renee.
And the book is on there. Thank you.
And the book
link is on there as well. Yes.
Yes. And now we have a few more minutes. I'm going to allow our audience, if anyone has a question, please feel free to connect right now and ask your questions. Renee is also willing to answer some questions for us.
Absolutely. Let's see, Annie, I'm looking over in the chat.
Okay.
There's Dr. Emmanuel. It was looking, I don't know if anybody's able to bring Dr. Emmanuel on. So can somebody add him in?
Yeah, I hope somebody did.
Maybe Denise is aware of that. He wrote that message in there and he's been waiting. So we would love to speak with Dr. Emmanuel. If anybody's able to bring Dr. Emmanuel in, that would be great. Or if there's any questions for anybody, I'd like to be able to answer them.
Actually, I would like to just come on and say, wow, Renee, what a powerful, powerful story. I too believe in the mindset, and I have a disability. So, excuse me, I have a disability, and because of that, I've always had to, focus on what I can do and not what I can't do. So hearing your story, it just, again, it to know that we have women out here who went through something so traumatic and come out the other end, because like you said, what you go to, you grow through. So very powerful. I can't wait to get your book and look at it and look at the questions and answer and just really reflect on what you're asking. It's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. I am grateful. I can't wait for you to read it as well. It's really uplifting women to see what's possible and not to limit themselves with whether you had a disability, to label yourself that you have a disability. If you look at the word disability, Denise, I'm going to invite you right here to reframe. It's not a disability. There are things that I'm unable to do because I don't have all the tools. It's things that you're able to do once you learn them and have the right tools. So the word disability is the word ability.
Absolutely.
So keep that in your mind. That's part of the mindset, is not a disability.
Yeah.
You could, are we going to label everybody that isn't able to do things that they have a disability? No, it's what they're
Exactly.
able to do. So I don't want you to label yourself that you have a disability, that you
Right.
own it as a disability. What are you able to do? I'm sure there are things that you can do that I don't know how to do. I'm not going to say I'm disabled.
Right. Exactly. Well,
Okay.
I've always said that we all have unique abilities, you know, so whatever one can do, maybe somebody else can't, but you know, we're
Right.
all here together and we grow with each other, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear that word from you. I don't want you to say that word to yourself, because it's your ability.
Yes.
Denise is one of those women that have really marveled me in my whole life. I mean, she is one of the most creative angels I've ever met. And just for your information, Renee, Denise's middle name is Zita. So
Yeah.
she and I share a whole lot in common. Yes.
Wow. That's fantastic. And my name means reborn. So you've got her with it. Yes. So
Wow.
I help others in finding their voice, rebirthing
Jesus.
that voice from within. So it's
Wow.
all come together.
Isn't that powerful?
And
Wow.
if anybody has any organizations, or they know of a place that they would like this book to go to, please let me know. We can try to get this book out there to those organizations,
Yes.
and to help uplift people, whether it's a women's group or education, like whether it's schools, universities. I'd love to get the book into schools and universities. I would love to get this book to Oprah and her girls in South Africa. They've got a school there for us. So I don't know all the hows of how to do all of these things, but I'm putting my voice out there and asking if anybody does have any connections there to do that, because that would really be helpful to so many, to get this book into those hands, women's organizations, or abused women, or somewhere, schools, university. I wish I had this book when I was taking my psychology classes in school. I wish I had this. I wish I had me then. I had me, but I wasn't evolved then.
Maybe this is the right timing. Nothing happens by accident.
No, absolutely
not. This is the right timing for that book, and for
Yes.
you to really shine. And that's what is happening right now. Yes. So thank you so much for sharing with us. I'm just wondering, is somebody going to ask a question? Because
I saw Dr. Emmanuel come in, and then I don't know.
understand what's going on.
We can get Dr. Emmanuel back in. That'd be great.
Right.
Are we able to do that again? If any, Denise or anybody's out there to get it, Dr.
I don't
Emmanuel?
know. Emily should be coordinating that.
Anybody has any questions? I'm happy to answer.
And if we are not able to do this on this podcast right now, I'm going to direct them to channel their questions to you through your email and all that, because really people will.
I believe Dr. Emmanuel left, but I will look him up and definitely send him your way.
Thank you. And also, you have to connect on the link tree to schedule an appointment. As I said, my calendar link is on there too. The book is on there. All of those things I have on there. They're great tools. So please utilize that link tree and connect.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Is there anyone has anything to add, questions before we round it up?
I would like to say, Zita and Denise, thank you so much for having me on your show. I know we had some technical difficulties along the way, but we kind of just kept going through it. And as I said, what we go through, we grow through. So I'm grateful to be here and to be sharing our voices together. And I want to thank you for having me as your guest and sharing that voice with everybody here today.
Yeah, thank you so much again. Like I said, it was really great to have you. I am so excited for you, for what you do, and for what you continue to offer to other people, especially to women, because honestly, we need all the help we can get. There's a lot going on in the world today that only holding hands, supporting one another is the way to go. And Renee, you got all it takes to provide that support to our women.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, and I hope to you join us, not as a guest speaker, but every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are here encouraging one another, educating one another, and learning from one another. Like we learned a lot from you today. So, for next week podcast is going to be Hegadella, and she does healing, and she's going to help us to learn how to heal ourselves. So there are all kinds of help out there from women who have gone through a life, have learned a lot, and they're now using it to also salvage the rest of us. So please come back next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, to World of Women podcast, where women thrive. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much, Renee. And God bless you as you heal the world with all you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zita.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Love you.
I love you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.